After 4 years with Killian, I got pregnant. I took the pregnancy test and my ID to a private hospital to set up a file. But when entering insurance information, I was stopped by the blonde administrative specialist. Mrs. Smith, the system shows there is a problem with your marital status. She looked at me awkwardly. Your marriage to Mr. Killian is not legally effective. I was stunned and instinctively retorted, that is impossible. We registered in Las Vegas. All the procedures were, there is only an application record, no final sign effective document. The specialist turned the screen around and tapped the keyboard a few times. Moreover, Mr. Killian's legal wife shows another lady's name. That name was like a thorn piercing fiercely into my retina. Elena Killian's personal secretary, and also publicly recognized as the benefactor who saved his life in the Alps avalanche 5 years ago. I felt all the blood in my body flowing backward. How could it be her? When I walked out of the hospital, it started raining heavily in New York. I didn't use an umbrella, letting the cold rain soak through my body, just as determined as I was 4 years ago when I knelt at the entrance of the family manor in the rain at night to be with Killian, begging my father to sever ties. Back then, I was a full scholarship winner at a famous Ivy League school, and the heir the family had high hopes for. But for Killian Smith, for this illegitimate son who was then rejected by his family and had nothing, I gave up my studies, turned my back on my family, and even became a joke in the upper-class circles. I thought we were true, love-sharing well and woe, until I sat in the stretch Lincoln sent by Killian, watching this man I loved recklessly looking at me with that familiar, gentle, yet helpless gaze. Halen, don't get caught in the rain, you'll catch a cold. Killian took off his expensive custom suit jacket and considerately draped it over me, his movements impeccably gentlemanly. He was always like this, emotionally stable and elegant, even when stabbing me in the back. You know, he asked, his tone as calm as if discussing tomorrow's weather. Why is it Elena? I asked tremblingly. Why is our marriage legally invalid? Why is she your wife? Killian sighed, reached out to pull me into his arms, his fingers gently running through my soaked long hair. Halen, you are always so serious. He lowered his head and kissed my forehead, a coaxing tone in his voice. That is just a piece of paper. You know, the only person I love is you, my future, my children. Everything I have is yours. Why bother arguing over a mere title with a dying person? I pushed him away in disbelief. A dying person. Elena's brain cancer has relapsed. A flash of grief and pity passed through Killian's eyes. The doctor said she has at most half a year left. She has had a hard life. 5 years ago in the Alps, if she hadn't pushed you away and dug me out of the snow, carrying me for 3 days and 3 nights, we would have died long ago. Those legs that saved me were left disabled due to frostbite. Now she is dying, and her only wish is to leave this world decently as Mrs. Killian. Killian looked at me, a hint of blame actually in his gaze, as if looking at an ignorant child. Halen, she saved us. One must know gratitude. She just wants a title. Once she is gone in half a year, that position will naturally still be yours. You already have enough. Why can't you be a bit more generous and fulfill her final dignity? So I fulfill her wish, who will fulfill mine? I looked at this affectionate man, suddenly feeling my stomach turning. For you, I betrayed my family and friends, gave up my degree, and followed you without any status for 4 years. Now, I am pregnant with your child. Yet you tell me that to repay a debt of gratitude, I must be that shady mistress. Killian frowned, seemingly finding my words too harsh. No one says you are a mistress. In everyone's eyes, you are the mistress here. He patiently held my hand again, his palm warm and dry but unable to warm my heart. Elena even promised that she wouldn't intervene in our lives. She just wants to close her eyes looking at the marriage certificate. Halen, don't be so cold-blooded. If I refuse her, I will carry a debt of conscience for a lifetime. You also don't want your husband to be an ungrateful person, right? I looked at him, watched